I was halfway through my pastoral experience that at the Washington Theological Union we had to do for our pastoral paper. So it was about a 3-month experience that you, again, giving full time to a ministry and then writing about that ministry. And so I was halfway through it. I was in the country of El Salvador. It was the summer after the peace accord. This was the summer of '93. And so the country was just in the beginnings of trying to put itself back together and build that trust within people. And so I was living about 10 miles north of San Salvador, and I was living with a family, a poor family, in an area that had just, during the war, had just grown. It had just increased in population. A lot of people that were being bombed out in the eastern part of the country had moved here in order to find a safe place. So it just was an enormous community. People were everywhere, and so again, I was living with a poor family, and had a shared bedroom, no running water, no refrigeration. And so bathing, of course, then no hot water. Bathing was just throwing the water on you from a well. And I'm eating my lunch, and I begin to gag on what I'm eating. And I'm only halfway through this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what's the matter with me? What a lot of Americans experience, especially when they have to go to another culture that is different than their own, we're so used to a variety of foods at every meal. Every day it's something different. You go to a poor country, it's not that way. And so every day what was served was this queso, this dry cheese, which again I love today, I didn't for a while, but because there was no refrigeration, it was highly salted. So it was that, it was a tortilla, and a soup which is called chipilín, which was a leaf. And so every day. So again, halfway through it, I began to, as I said, I was gagging on the cheese. And I'm like, I got to eat this because this is the only protein for today. We had chicken once a week, and that wasn't just here's the whole breast. This was one leg you got. There were beans another day, and then other than that, every meal was this queso and this tortilla. After about, and again I was only halfway through it, and I had been through my third bout of gastrointestinal problems, where do I sign up, right? But would I change it? Would I go back and say, ooh, I would love to leave that experience back there? No. Brothers, missionary experiences, putting yourself in another culture, putting yourself in another setting, challenging yourself to really be in unfamiliar territories. As Paul and Barnabas were setting out to do, I can't encourage it enough. For me, it has been just so life-giving to see how others live. And especially in that experience, it was in Salvador at that time in this community, very poor. So that was, wow, just that alone was such an experience, let alone be in another whole culture. But I wouldn't take any of it back. I encourage you, force yourselves, just, I can do it, to see how others live and how others are trying to follow the Lord. It is just such a fruitful experience to help us all. And not that we're taking our American culture and here, I got to help you improve yours. That mentality we got to get out of. I learned that from before I entered the order, I was a missionary for a year in the West Indies. And I learned that, thank you Jesus, so quickly. Some of the other volunteers from the Peace Corps are of that mentality, well, I'm here to help you. And I could see right away, no, that shouldn't be the way we go to other places. I'm here to help you. We're here to help one another. Amen. And so when we go to missionary experiences, go to other places, we're here to help one another. But do it. Force yourself. That missionary experience is just so, what a blessing, and helps us to grow in our own faith. Amen.
Amen.